Councilman Camilleri? Here. Councilman Conti?
Here.
Councilman Halco will be late. Councilwoman Mazur?
Here.
Council President Samaluka.
Here, please rise to salute the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all council members on January 31st, 2014, and to all legal newspapers in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
The public is hereby advised that any statements made during a meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook may not be privileged or protected, and that persons or entities who take issue with such comments or are offended by same may and have in the past sought legal redress through the courts. Any member of the public who addresses the council speaks for themselves and not for the council.
Okay, before we get to open the meeting to the public, is young Mr. Valenia here?
Yes.
There he is.
There he
Okay,
is. He's here.
Mayor, you have a couple of presentations to make?
Yes, I do. Good evening, everyone. I'm very proud tonight to ask Brian Valenia to come forward with his parents and his grandma, please. Because it's always an honor when we have someone we can be so proud of in our township in Saddlebrook. Brian was selected to go to the national football out of thousands of youths. And I'd like you to be able to explain to the audience your position, offense, defense, since this female isn't a fan of football. So you can better explain, and when I had read it in the paper, I said, wow, this is a great achievement to have someone from Saddlebrook take it this far to this length.
All right, so my name is Brian Valenia. I play offensive left tackle, and on defense, I play tackle.
And could you tell us a little about where you went? I think it was Orlando, Florida. He was smart, get out of the cold weather. Tell us about the trip, who went, what you did.
Well, my mom, my dad, and my grandma went, and we went to SeaWorld, and then I started playing camp, and that was really it.
How many days at camp and how many hours? Was it tough or tougher than Saddlebrook coaches?
Yeah. There was like 4 hours a day of practice, and then there was like 4 days of camp, and then we had a game in the Citrus Bowl Stadium. And then we had another game in one of the high schools.
I don't think there's many of us here that can say we were at the Citrus Bowl Stadium, as you have been. Now, when you decided to put this application in, as the newspapers covered it, it said thousands. What did you have to do to prove yourself to become the grand champ for Saddlebrook?
Well, you had to go to this camp, and the camp was like really tough, and you had to like push yourself to finish it. You get selected by the coaches.
Congratulations. Mom, Dad, anyone like to say anything? No? Well, on behalf of the council, myself, and the entire township, congratulations. There's a certificate. Brian, offense, defense, our All-American football player in the National All-Star Bowl in Orlando, Florida. God bless you and your family. Yes?
Since we have his coach here, I'm just going to ask Mr. Camilleri to say a few words about Brian.
Mr. Camilleri, Councilman, Coach.
Thank you. I had the opportunity to coach Brian this year in our rec program here in town, and he's a wonderful boy. He's one of those boys who you want to coach, and a very coachable kid who listens to you, follows direction. He does give more than 100% with everything he does. He has all the dedication and discipline to the game. I wish him all the best of luck in the future. Brian, it was a pleasure coaching you this year. The only thing is, can we have a 4-hour practice?
Thank you. God bless you. Now, for the past few years, it's been my pleasure to participate with the Mayor's Youth Group Committee, and we have our annual Halloween decorating contest and Christmas home decorating contest. This Halloween, and I know we're a little bit late from October to now, but good things happen no matter when it happens. Anyway, the Mayor's Youth Group, Pete Ladico, myself, we went out on the bus. Quite a few homes to judge. It's just shows us what a wonderful community we have and how many people do partake in it. So this evening, I have the Halloween winners here. There's quite a few of them. Unfortunately, the Mayor's Youth Group can't be here because they're all involved in school play and practice is going on. So at this time, I would like to call up our third place, the Ciolino family from 114 North 5th Street. Are they here this evening? No? Okay. And our next would be the Lehman family from 136 Oxford. Anyone representing the Lehman family? Our second place, the Kravitz family, 244 Hillside. Halloween must be way past, right? Way past.
They're planning for next year.
Trapita family, 24 Woodward. Okay. Making the meeting go quickly. Second place, Sprovero family, 439 Hillside. I only have 2 Christmas winners, so all you people can't be here for Christmas, that's for sure. Okay, on Coker Street, Matarano, first place. There you go. I remember Mrs. Matarano had invited us into the house for hot chocolate and everything, which was very nice.
I was in pajamas though.
Could you please tell the public what your house looked like, what you do for Halloween, because it just wasn't outside and inside. And I remember your grandchildren enjoyed what you do.
I just get inspired by the community, and I just love doing it. That's all. I do it in and out. So.
Well, thank you. You certainly lend a lot to the holiday. And there's your plaque on behalf of the township. Thank you. The Mayor's Youth Group had a difficult time deciding, so there are 3 first-place winners, and the next one are the Starker family from 28 Harrop. Here we go. We have real Halloweeners here. I know the students had a great time coming by your house. Would you care to share your decorations with the rest of us?
It was inspired by my daughter here, the little shy one. She loves Halloween. She loves inflatables. So we got a bunch of inflatables, and I actually saw online a spider web. So I decided, that looks pretty interesting and pretty handy. So the one side of the house had a huge spider web that went from the ground up to the the gutter, and it was fun to build, but I didn't realize it was going to take that long.
3 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours.
It's spun its own web.
And
How
like
long did it take you to take it down?
Not so long.
20 minutes. I have to build it.
Well, on behalf of the community, congratulations, and keep up the good work. Thank you. And let your daughter forever be an inspiration to you both. Thank you. Okay. Chipotle family? From Woodward. Thank you. These are our second place winners. And if you could share your experience in decorating your home with the rest of our audience here, please. You can step to the mic. It won't bite, promise. It's not Halloween.
A lot of work. That's it. Every year I try and do it. Because I have young kids, I just go out there and just put up everything. Every year we pick up another decoration and add it to it. And then it's only about a week after that you have to put up for Christmas. So it's just a lot of work. And I thank you.
Thank you for making the town proud. Thank you. And now the Sharp family from 49 Finnegan Avenue. apartment R11. And they really went all at it, and I know the Mayor's Youth Group was really, really enthralled with what you had put up. So if you could just please share with us.
Not a problem. What we did was we had a whole bunch of tombstones, and we got a fog machine. I wanted it to hopefully try and seep down the tiny slope of a hill that we have in our apartment. It didn't really do as much as I'd like it to, but we did with what we could. It's very hard to decorate when you don't really have a yard. Want to say anything?
Too shy.
It really was, I'd say, a challenge that you overcame quite nicely because the students were even enthralled with it. And I remember when we approached with the bus, and we were looking for the apartment numbers in the dark, of course, and then we spotted your place, and they were peeking out the window like, oh, look, the judges came, they found us, they came. Because being in the apartments, they thought that they were maybe forgotten, but certainly not. That wasn't the case, and thank you for sharing your art with the people of Finnegan Avenue. Mm-hmm. We'll look forward to passing that along throughout Finnegan Ave. You can be our forerunner. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks. Now, at Christmas time, we couldn't get together our Mayor's Youth Group, and with all the activities and meetings and holiday parties. So Pete and I became the judges. So anyone disagreeing, you can blame just the two of us. It's my fault. There were many houses, and I do want to say, if ever there was a street in town that was decorated, if we had to give a prize for that, as Pete and I drove around, it was unbelievable. Evans Place. Practically every house there was just like lit up, the entire street. And I noticed it was similar last year when we had the contest, but even more so this year. So to those who are watching and live on Evans Place, keep up the holiday spirit because it was beautiful. So our third place winner is the Massa family from 316 Washington. How about I hand this to you, and how about you come close here and speak into the mic and tell everyone your name.
My name is Joseph.
How old are you?
7.
And what did your house look like decorated?
I don't know.
Had the manger. Did you have the manger?
Yeah.
Tell them you had the manger.
It's like a bunch of statues.
Thank you. They had the most gorgeous, authentic-looking manger scene ever. And if you care to share?
Well, we have a lot of lights. We have a lot of lights, and we do many things with different lights. And each year, just so that we keep adding. Every year, keeps getting more and more intense. And this year, we added a nativity that was very nice. Yeah, thank you.
It really was. It was magnificent. Thank you. I see that. And now the small family from 5 Wilson. Their house was unbelievable. It was like a Thomas Kincaid or Currier and Ives. Don't be afraid, step forward. It really, they're tucked in a corner of a cul-de-sac, but you couldn't help notice how it was just it was a greeting card and a painting. I mean, inside, didn't you have Santa Claus, a white Santa?
You've seen that. That was a big bag.
Come on over here. Well, we want to hear about it.
No, that was one of the numerous pre-Christmas disagreements. Was nobody is going to see the Santa Claus. Move it 3 inches more to the left. So that took practically 1 day just to do. As far as Christmas decorations, they usually start soon as the last of the 20 people who have Thanksgiving dinner at our house leave. The wheels start clicking. first thing, day after Thanksgiving, things start getting pulled out, and she has assignments and things to do. Now, for the guys that play football in high school, after the football game on Saturday or Friday, Monday they all seem to limp, you know, to show everybody, oh, they must be on the football team. Well, that day after Thanksgiving is when I start limping. So for every single day up until Christmas Eve and the Zeepela's gone the oil, Nancy's tweeting everything, move this here, move this there, everything is picture perfect. And she's really great at it, and I applaud her and my limp.
I have to say I'm cheating, though, because I'm a retired florist. So anything I put in those pots, I know what I'm putting there. But it's just the stress of getting everything in those pots before the frost, because the dirt gets hard, and then you can't get the flowers and the greens and all that stuff. And we lost our son a few years ago, so I have like a low-key effect now. I don't want all the lights and everything. And I said to him, I have a heck of a nerve putting us in a contest with no lights. We just have floodlights. But I wanted to achieve a home that looked of peace. And thank you.
And you know, it really was, because when Pete and I passed, it was peace, because it just glowed white like the heavenly angel that your son up there is watching over you during the holidays.
Thanks.
Thank you. Watch that limp. Now our next winner, Mr. and Mrs. Donofrio, 122 Claremont Avenue. Congratulations. Theirs was an entirely different type of Christmas. It was all bright lights, just like Rockefeller Center. That's what it reminded Pete and I of, right, Pete? It was beautiful, but I'll let you finish.
Okay. Well, when you mention Rockefeller Center, we have a nativity set that is very important to me, to our family, that has to be out every year amongst the other things that are on the front lawn. But in particular, I have these angels that are replicas of the actual angels on a smaller version from Rockefeller Center. I have them anchored down pretty well so they don't get up and fly away. But in any case, that's part of the nativity scene that we have. And this year, I always try to add one item, retire an item, so everybody says, oh, you know, we didn't see that before. But this year, I added a 13-foot blow-up Santa with reindeer on top of the roof, which was quite eye-catching. The day that myself and a few of my friends helped me out to put it up there, people were actually getting out of their cars with their kids and pointing up to it. So it was quite a day when we put that up. But we do it every year. We, like I said, always try to retire an item and put something else out new, and that kind of keep it fresh. So so when the PSE&G bill comes, my wife won't yell at me.
Well, sure, why not? We grew up in Hudson County, and like many people from this area, we grew up in apartments, and Ed's dream was to have a house and decorate it for Christmas. So the 20-some-odd years that we've been in Saddlebrook, that's what he's been doing, we've been doing with our children, and hopefully will continue for a long time.
Thank you. We're very proud of you. Did anyone come in? Any Halloween people come in? Not hearing anyone? Thank you very much for your attention. We enjoyed, and thanks to the Mayor's Youth Group, because they really worked on Halloween.
Cub Scouts, not tonight?
No, we did, the Mayor's Youth Group wanted to try, as many years ago we had in town, a window painting contest, because they want to get the businesses involved. The thought came out late at one of our meetings, and there was Cub Scout Pack 222 that painted the one and only window in town. So I had invited them this evening, and they weren't able to make it, but the youth group is going to continue with a new program come this spring to get the businesses to participate more for the community and beautify it. So I'm looking forward to our next few meetings. We have a meeting February 15th. So I'll have more news on that, and if anyone out there would like to join the group from 4th grade on up, and all below are welcome also. Okay? Thank you.
Before we open the meeting to the public, just on behalf of the council, we have a presentation to Mr. Conti. Present to Council President Richard Conti in recognition of your leadership and service. We were going to get you a bulletproof vest. We couldn't find any, so we have this gavel to do with what you made.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Thanks, engineer, attorneys. Thanks for all your help. Pete, especially, thank you very, very much, and thank you for your audience. Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to open the meeting to the public.
Motion.
Second. Camilleri, second by Mr. Conti. Roll call. Actually, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? See none, unanimous. Meeting is now open to the public.
Good evening. Omar Rodriguez, 275 Madison Avenue, former council president 4 times. First and foremost, I would like to touch the subject that's actually bad for the town. On Tuesday, they shut down the public portion to the public. I just want to put you on notice that that goes against the rules and regulations of BCA. I hope that it was just an oversight, that it doesn't happen again. Excuse me, sir.
Of what? You said it violates what? Regulations of what?
BCA, when you open that, you have to have
Department of Community Affairs?
Yes, I can make a complaint if you shut down to the public.
Okay.
Because basically, this is not secrecy. What's going on in the town, the public have the right to speak up, and this is the proper forum, not to go to your house, not to shut down to the public, like you suggested to go and see you in your house. Then again, just to finalize on the subject, I also would like just to touch that actually the intervention of the attorney, of the township attorney, should just be done when the council president requested, on when he is asked to respond to any particular questions. Actually, he's not part of the elected body, therefore he should not be able to intervene unless he see any liability for the township. With that being said, so I just want to, I hope that it's an oversight, that it doesn't happen again.
You weren't here.
I would like just to move on 4 times, Council President, Mr. Candidate, for mayor. So let me just move on. I see on the agenda that is an increase on the water rate, 7.5% increase. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, it was said by this board in the past that it was going to be litigated, fighted, and do everything within your power. I haven't seen none of that, and I just see the increase in the water rates. I believe that the residents expect more than that. Also, I see the decrease from 3 inches of snow to 2 inches of snow in order for tickets to be issued. I will suggest that we should go by what the county actually states. When the county roads like Midland Avenue are being cleaned out, plowed, it's actually 3 inches or more. If this is going to be lower and it's just a way of revenue, I believe with the taxes the Saddlebrook residents are paying already, they are too much, and on top of that to pay for more tickets, I believe that it should be considered more revisions to that. Now, also I just would like to know, well, I'll leave that for later, the budget on the salt and all that with all this winter storm, because I see that there are going to be comments about the budget also. But at first I would like just to go through the chair, if I may, to the business administrator, Mr. Lodico, any questions or any responses on the crossing guard by AMP?
Yes, we're making progress.
Okay. Now, it's been going on already for a long time, and my understanding that everything has been settled. We even paved that road, the Mayhill extension, and now I'm not satisfied with a response like that. Not anymore, because such a long time has elapsed since the time that we already take the road. This question should be considered before or prior to we taking the road. Actually, if the agreement was for the developer to pay for 2 crossing guards whenever that place was built, I don't care what happened with the state. Actually, the 2 crossing guards that it should be paid by the developer, it should go along with the land and not with a person. The same that it goes to any regular citizen in the township of Saddlebrook. I wonder why it's so much favors to particular developer. Is it that difficult? What happened when one of us don't pay taxes or don't pay the water? What happened? They put a lien on the property. Can we do that? Can we entertain that? It's been such a long time and there is not clear response why if it's working or not working, that is not satisfactory. So I'm just moving on that one. At the last council meeting was an important question from a gentleman, and he was just asking a question about a relative of one of the council members. Just food for thought. Not too long ago, we experienced the hiring of Councilman County, hiring of his son, and actually, again, not too long ago, we just found out that his son got an increase of $12,000, which almost nobody else got it. And the perception is wrong, totally wrong. Nowadays in America, and especially with this economy, I don't think that we can afford something like that. So I'm gonna just put something for consideration to the council. I believe that we should establish a nepotism law. A nepotism law in which none of the elected officials should have any member, any direct member from the family to be hired to avoid the perception that something is wrong. Because once you get a job like that, then you're indebted to the mayor that is sitting at the moment, and it's nothing that can be done to stop. So I believe that the residents and taxpayers deserve better than that. So then again, just going along with that, also I would just like to touch on a subject that I've been bringing up for, I guess, close to 2 years or more, in the sense that if any developments have happened in regards to pass an ordinance, once Deputy Chief Y, when and if Deputy Chief Y decide to retire, so that position do not be filled once it becomes vacant. I already brought the ordinance from Engel Park that it could be doable. It has been done, no matter how many years he could sit on that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, but once the person, in this particular case, Deputy Chief Y, decides to retire, that position should be not filled, should be voided, and should be changed everything. That will represent savings of millions of dollars in the next 20 years. Now, also would just like to correct some of the comments that are being made, of course, that every time that I leave, they just throw things that are not accurate. When I was saying the last council meeting that is taxpayers' money on the property on Claremont Avenue, that we have spent $850,000 for the county to use a property not paying taxes, in which we, the taxpayers, are burdening those taxes. Now, of course, that again, we, the taxpayers, will have to pay for the $850,000 if the state of New Jersey decide not to make it a low-income housing, that property in Claremont Avenue. The easiest way not to lose that $850,000, of course, would be to give it to the property that it was already designated as a low-income housing in Russell Lane. But unfortunately, that property is abiding by the property of the current mayor.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, sir.
You keep referencing Claremont Ave. Do you mean Caldwell Avenue?
Caldwell Avenue, I'm sorry, Caldwell Avenue. So then, again, Russell Lane is already designated as a low-income housing for so many years, but it hasn't even been entertained to put the $850,000 there. It hasn't been entertained. Now, we don't know what is going to be the future of Caldwell Avenue. What happened again if the county will not get the funds to move along with the project? Is the county continue going to use that as a training facility? We, the taxpayers, are going to keep on paying for the taxes that that property is not paying anymore, what's gonna happen if we indeed keep that property? So what's gonna happen with Russell Lane? It's gonna be undeveloped. If that money is actually $850,000 that was on the bank, we should have put it to a better use. Now, just not to jump on that. Unfortunately, Mr. Halco is not here tonight, but I have to make the comments. Actually, he just keep on presenting some figures, and I don't know where he get his figures and his numbers. It took me more than a year to go to the bottom of actually the real numbers on how much overtime we spend on the police department. And I keep on claiming that with those monies, actually we should be able to hire more cops a long time ago. Last year, and this is the truth of the matter, and I believe that you should speak with the paperwork, $400,000 were spent, $300,000 came from the town. And with this I finish. We have a chief of police, we got a deputy chief of police, we have a police director, we have a mayor that is appointing authority. And on top of that, someone that is not knowledgeable on the subject is making those comments wrong. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Mr. Candidate. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else from the public wish to speak?
Larry, retired chaplain from Claremont Ave. First, I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate Shana Kugler, who really got screwed by this town. I mean, she's been taking the test for 10 years. She can't do any higher than what she did. She was passed over. The auditor hasn't been here in 3 months. I don't know where he's been to ask, because he was the one that said there was no money. Then all of a sudden, the money appeared. Okay? She's going to take her career and probably top out at the Bourbon County Sheriff's Department. And once again, Saddlebrook comes up short, losing one of our own because of a political vendetta by the mayor right here. Okay? You know it, and I know it, that the girl should have been hired. Okay? When you take the score is the score. And when you finish in that top percent, you should have every opportunity to be a cop in your hometown. It's very hard to hire police officers now that are homegrown. And we lost a good opportunity there, Mayor, thanks to you, okay, because of your personal vendetta. Okay. I asked a question to the attorney who had set him off on Tuesday, and he shut down to the public. I asked the question, of course he's not here, but I'm sure Mr. Chakowski will have the answer. I asked about the health benefits. Is it 20 consecutive years in the ordinance, Mr. Ladica, or is it 20 years of service? And where is that ordinance? That's why, Andrew, I don't think you say most of this information is public, that we can't ask questions up here. He couldn't find the ordinance for 6 months, he looked for the health care. So if I came to his office,
because there wasn't an ordinance.
there wasn't an ordinance,
there was
right?
not.
And I mean, does it really take 6 months to find out?
It does if you're reading 50 years' worth of minutes, and that's what I was asked to do.
50 words. So
50 years' worth of minutes.
Well, I don't care if it was 100 years worth of minutes. You know there was no ordinance there.
I was asked to
kept
research it.
But
go ahead. I'm sorry, that's your
time.
time.
You know what I'm saying? You knew it. And then, like I said, you guys fudged the petition and everything, and you grandfathered yourselves in. And then, like you say, we have no money to hire police officers, but you guys are collecting your benefits, or you took care of yourselves. Look at what most towns, the mayor wants to look at what towns are doing. Notice what Fairlawn just did to their council members. The health benefits are eliminated. We can't afford you, okay? We can't afford you. Do I have an answer on the 20 years, or you have to look for another?
On Tuesday, you asked the attorney. I'll defer to the attorney.
The ordinance ties in to existing ordinances. For pension, it's 15 years of service. All of our contracts are 20 years if you're an employee. The new contracts are 25 years. It does not have to be consecutive years of service.
It doesn't say consecutive years?
Does not.
Well, I would like to see that in the ordinance, and I don't think that's because there was supposed to be a separate healthcare ordinance covering you people and a 20 years. When you people are not employees, you're not part of any contract. That's where the problem is. If you were township employees, you're covered under a contract. You don't have no contract here. You're elected by the people. And the people spoke and said, we wanted that put on the ballot. And then you guys fudged the ordinance or fudged the petition. And we can't fight our own money in court. You hire your own lawyer, he'll pay you, Mr. Chakowski, I'm sure you're happy. And to fight us, where we have to go on and pay our own. And we're also, on the other hand, we're paying you. Because it's our tax money that's being used, burning up. They are not township employees. Let's get that straight. I'm glad that you said that they're covered under a contract. They are under no contract. So I would like some better answers on that for the 20 years. I know that wasn't fudged in the petition. So maybe we'll knock something out. These people that ran last year, Mr. Conti, Mr. Halco, and the mayor, I mean, they really swayed a lot of the votes with their pamphlet that they put out, with the savings of the $242,000, not taking benefits, not taking salary. Where is that money, the $242 that we could use right now? Where's that savings? I guess, Mr. Conti, you and the mayor are the only two present. If you can have an answer for me, or you need a week or a couple of weeks to get that answer back to me. You know there is no savings. You screwed us. You took the benefits. You lied. Okay? I was one who voted for you. I'm a Democrat. And I voted for you because of the savings, because I was so against the health benefits. Now, what are we going to do this year? What are we going to lie about this year when we run? We'll see how gullible the public is again. Omar touched on the hiring of relatives. Do we have any hirings on the borough right now? Whether it be DPW, office, or anything like that?
Not that I know of.
Not that you know, okay. But like I said, we really should look into the nepotism thing, because that's a problem. I mean, if you look at all of the township employees, and if you made a tree, somebody's attached to that tree all over the place, and it's not good.
Mr. Tychek, would the hiring of Shayna Kugler been, how does that jibe with an anti-nepotism law?
Well, that is a person that takes a test, and you must score in the top positions.
And that person, but that person would be directly supervised by a family member.
It's not like hiring Mr. Conti's son.
But
Nothing against Mr. Conti's son.
But I don't oversee.
That's out of turn, Mr. Conti. I don't have anything against Mr. Conti's son. If he's the best qualified and the best person for that job, we go for it. Okay? A police officer must score a test, not a relative. Okay? A relative, to be a DPW worker, to be an office worker, you don't have to take no test. Okay, so let's get that straight. She scored up there, way up there. Okay, and not only one time. Like I say, I asked where the auditor is because we have some questions for him. I see on one of them back pages where I know we're in tight for money and stuff like that, and like I say, I'm a sports fan. Andrew, you know it. Every Joe, you know it. I'd do anything for the kids. I see that we spent $5,900 on cheerleaders. What was it for?
That's their budget to go to the national championship.
That's their budget, and that's all they're getting?
That's all they're getting this year.
That's all they're getting is the $5,900?
Correct. I think actually it's 5,000. Is it? It says 5,000.
Is football going to post up what they get, and basketball and wrestling, do they post? Or was that like an emergency appropriation for them to go?
They needed that money to reserve their spot.
Joe, you don't need any money for football, do you? You got tons of money. You
could always use money.
Okay, well, put an emergency in, go for $5,900.
We
got it.
Like I said, that's
Well,
everyone.
Take it. If they're gonna take it, you gotta take it.
Everyone
You gotta
gets
keep it
a
even.
budget that is their allotted amount.
Okay, as long as we're fair across the line. Like I said, I wish all the sports would get $5,900. Like I say, this question was brought up by Mr. Costa Tuesday with the salt. I think that's a very good idea that we monitor our own salt and hold our own salt here, because there is no way that you can keep track of it, being in Maywood or Bushel Park, wherever it is. And, you know, we got to do it. We got to start doing things on our own and stop leaning on other towns to do this. I mean, a salt shed, I don't know when the last time we had one. We had one that collapsed, and then we just forget about it. That's something that you need in today's world. And we can't monitor it over in Maywood when the trucks pull in and pull out of here. I mean, there's no tickets they're signing, no vouchers they're signing. I mean, if you go into a rack and you have a voucher or a bill of lading, fine. Give it to Pete, he knows what we used, and we know what we're paying for. But we're just paying for salt, and we don't know where it's going. And now we don't have any. Did we get the delivery?
We're expecting delivery tomorrow from the county.
We're expecting it, but we didn't get it yet.
Entire state, the entire
Everybody's
region
expecting
is,
it. Right now, there is no salt.
it's a problem.
Everybody, it's a problem, right?
right.
And we can't monitor our own salt. So we don't know if we use X amount, but we know what we paid for salt. We know that.
Sure.
So like I said, we have to get up, bring the town up to, the modern times.
Oh,
Go ahead,
do you
Mr.
mind?
Costa, go ahead.
Mr. Costa?
Oh, I was going to say, I'm getting nervous. That's the second time he agreed with me. Getting a little nervous.
Well, he
That's
does
all.
have some good ideas.
Thank you.
When you're not influenced by certain people.
Thank you.
When you speak for yourself,
I didn't mean to
okay.
cut your time
You're-
off. I
you're-
apologize.
But I'm saying, when you speak for yourself.
I just
you're
couldn't help
okay.
myself.
But don't let people put words in your mouth and you run into trouble. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other member of the public wish to address the council? Seeing none, I entertain a motion to close the meeting to the public. Mr. Conti?
Second.
Second by Ms. Mazer, all in favor? Aye. Any nays? Passed unanimously. Meeting is now closed to the public. First item on the agenda is ordinance, I cannot read. Ordinance 1569-14 for first reading.
An ordinance amending the code of the Township of Saddlebrook, Chapter 196, entitled Vehicles and Traffic, Article 7, Emergency No Parking, Section 25, Designation of Snow Emergency No Parking, be passed and adopted on first reading.
Motion to adopt. Motion to introduce. Motion to introduce for first reading.
I made a motion.
Mr. Conti. Got a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Camilleri. All in favor? Let's do a roll call.
Councilman Camilleri.
Yes.
Councilman Conti.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Council President Simuluka.
Yes.
Be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that the ordinance amending the code of the Township of Saddlebrook, Chapter 196, entitled Vehicles and Traffic, Article 7, Emergency No Parking, Section 25, Designation of Snow Emergency No Parking, heretofore passed on first reading, be further considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on the 6th day of March, 2014, at 7:00 p.m., or sooner after as the matter can be reached at the Municipal Building, 93 Market Street, and that at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance according to law, with the notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of a time and place when where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Motion to adopt at the first reading.
Motion.
Conti.
Second.
Second by Ms. Mazer. Just before we take the roll call, we've been on this first reading. Mr. Rodriguez had indicated that, of course, whatever we want to do is wrong, that we should go to 3 inches, which is what the county has, as opposed to what we're proposing is 2 inches. Well, we've always had 3 inches. The problem with that is this, and the reason that we're doing this, we don't just do ordinances because it's fun. The reason is that the DPW, the plowing is triggered by 2 inches of snow. So if the DPW plows are out after it's 2 inches of snow, and we're waiting for it to be 3 inches, it's not to generate revenue, it's to make sure the streets get plowed. Some towns don't do curb to curb. They just go right down the middle and they block cars in. We do curb to curb. We have people get off of the street for a certain period of time, and it's really not that long until the streets are plowed, and then they can put their cars back. So it is an inconvenience, but at the same time, it's more of an inconvenience to have your streets half plowed, because when people stay in the street, there's plows going around them, and it just messes everything up. We can't get curb-to-curb plowing when there's vehicles in the street. So we asked the police and also the DPW basically what happens, and it's generally 2 inches of snow that's going to trigger a plowing event. So we felt that before it had something, it said one part of our ordinance said 3 inches, another part of our ordinance said snow covered. One is just a dusting, the other one is a nice size. So we decided to go with whatever causes the DPW to come out to plow, 2 inches, to me, it makes sense, and that's the reason that we did it. It's not just because we want to be pains, or that we want to raise revenue by giving people tickets. We don't want to give people tickets. I would love to have one storm event where no snow tickets were given out, not because the police decided not to give them out, but because they didn't have to, because everyone obeyed what they were supposed to do. And that's the reason. I'll take the roll call on this.
Councilman Camilleri?
Yes.
Councilman Conti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Yes.
Council President Simuluk?
Yes. Next is ordinance 1570-14 for first reading.
An ordinance to amend and supplement an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance to Fix Water Rates and Service Charges and Penalties for the Municipal Water System of the Township of Saddle River, now Saddlebrook, in the County of Bergen, revision of 1931, as amended and supplemented for first reading."
Make a motion.
Motion?
Motion.
Mr. Conti?
Second.
Second. Roll call?
Councilman Camilleri?
Yes.
Councilman Conti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Yes.
Council President Simuluk?
Yes.
Be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that an ordinance to amend and supplement an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance to Fix Water Rates and Service Charges and Penalties for the Municipal Water System of the Township of Saddle River, now Saddlebrook, in the County of Bergen, as revised in 1931, as amended and supplemented heretofore passed on first reading, be further considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on the 6th day of March, 2014, at 7:00 p.m., where soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the Municipal Building, 93 Market Street, and that at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance according to law, with the notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Motion to approve after first reading?
Make a motion.
Mr. Conti? And second by Ms. Mazer. Just before we take the roll call, again, now we have somebody saying we shouldn't raise the rates. We've been down that road before, and that's one of the reasons that we had that $400-something thousand, I forget what it was, but a huge, huge deficit, because we didn't follow United Water's lead. The town doesn't supplement or subsidize water use. United Water charges us, we own the infrastructure, but United Water charges us for the water. And all this is doing is passing on the cost to the consumer. We did this the last time, we didn't raise it for years when somebody was on the council, and then that council decided, for whatever reason, not to pass along the rate increases. But geez, when you go up 16, 24%, who's paying that bill? You end up with a deficit. And then we ended up with that one-time surcharge, which we never want to go back to. So for that reason, we are just raising the water rates charged to our households the same amount that United Water has charged us. And by saying that we didn't do anything, we were the first. We had the people from United Water here. We were the first town, I think, in the county to object to their increase. And the increase that was approved, and again, it goes to the BPU, is much less than they had originally asked for. I forget what astronomical sum that they were looking for, but it came down to 7.5%, 18% maybe. So it's down to 7.5, and that's what we're passing along to the consumer. With that, I'll take a roll call.
Councilman Camilleri?
Yes.
Councilman Conti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Yes.
Council President Simuluk?
Yes.
All items listed with an asterisk are considered routine and non-controversial by the Township Council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member or members so request it, in which case the item or items will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. The one motion signifies adoption of all resolutions, receive and file letters, correspondence, reports, and approval of minutes and applications. Not part of consent agenda are the minutes of the July 9th Sinodai reorg and public meeting, Resolution 16, 17, 18, and Resolution 22.
Mr. Dico, can you also pull resolutions 2, 3, 7, and public place license number 4 for separate vote?
Okay, so we need a motion for the consent agenda.
A motion for the consent agenda?
Make a motion.
Mr. Cavalieri's made a motion.
Second.
Second by Ms. Mazur, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Passed unanimously.
Okay, we have the minutes of the July 9th, 2014 Sign and Die meeting and the July 9th, 2014 reorganization and regular public meeting. January. I wish it was July. We would need salt.
A motion?
Motion.
You can abstain.
Second.
Second by Mr. Cavalieri, all in favor? Aye. Any nays?
Abstain.
Mr. Conti's abstaining. That's for the sign and die. Motion to approve the minutes of the January 9th, 2014 reorg and regular public meeting.
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Mazur.
Second.
Second by Mr. Cavalieri. All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Seeing none, and Mr. Conti is marked as an abstention.
We have resolution number 2. Rescind the approval of liquor license for Neon and Onish, Inc., pending the ABC approval.
I make a motion.
Conti,
Second.
second by Ms. Mazur. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? There are none. I will abstain from this vote in that I represented one of the principals in that company.
Resolution number 3 is to authorize the renewal of the liquor license, Neon and Onish, for 2011-2012, inactive license.
Motion.
Ms. Mazur, motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Conti. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? None. I will abstain. Once again, I represented a principal in that corporation.
Resolution number 7, to approve the contract and authorize the mayor and clerk to sign the contract for the year for Munidex, for the computer services.
Motion.
We have a motion by Ms. Mazur.
Second.
Second. The only reason I pulled this is I'm going to ask that Mr. Lodico, I see here that we're offering a discount if we sign this by a certain date, and obviously the timing of the council meetings made that
We still get the
possible.
discount.
Do we still get the
Yes.
20%
Oh, yes.
discount? Okay. So that would save us $3,200, I believe.
Yes.
Great.
They
Okay,
always
just
do
wanted
that
to make
every
sure
year.
that was done. Beautiful. With that being said, I think there was
A motion and a second.
All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Seeing none, passed unanimously.
We have resolution number 16 is to approve the payment of bills, Nosh Electrical.
Motion.
Mr. Mazur with the motion.
I'll second it.
Second, Mr. Halko, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays?
Abstain.
Mr. Conti is abstaining.
Approve the payment of bills, Corner Nursery.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Halko, second by Mr. Camilleri, all in favor?
Aye.
I abstain.
Any nays or abstentions? No nays, Ms. Mazur has abstained.
Approve payment of bills, Costa Engineering.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Mr. Halko, and second by Mr. Conti, all in favor? Any nays or abstentions? I will abstain for reasons previously stated on the record.
We have resolution number 22 is support for Assembly Bill 2226, which establishes Bergen County Watershed Flood and Prevention Task Force.
Anthony, would I be putting you on the spot if I asked you, because I was late to the meeting on
Yeah, kind of.
Tuesday and missed it. Okay. Pete, can you just,
We have Assemblyman Eustons came on Tuesday's work session presenting a bill that's co-sponsored by Assemblyman Eustons, Assemblywoman Huddle, Assemblyman Lagana, Assemblywoman Caridi, and Assemblywoman Chapizzi. And it's a bill to establish a task force, 15 members to be appointed by the governor. Within 18 months of the appointment, a report is to be submitted to the Governor of New York, Governor of New Jersey, every mayor in Bergen County, outlining various areas of support that can be done for the rivers, including the Saddle River, the Hackensack River, and the Passaic River, as far as development, as far as preservation of the riverbanks, and basically to work on flooding issues.
this appears to be the third in a series of bills aimed at trying to get New York and New Jersey together to try and help out with the flood. The first one was somebody in Vermont has his then,
River keeper.
What's that?
Like a river keeper.
Yeah, that establishes a river keeper. Then there was the one that we had passed as a council, a resolution requesting that Governor Cuomo in New York reconsider his decision to veto a bi-state bill which would have created a commission to study and do some work on that issue. And this seems to be the third one. And it's important to note that this is totally non-political, that if you see the people that have signed on to this bill, it's both sides of the aisle. So, flooding affects everyone, whether you're an RD or independent. Doesn't make a difference.
And Andrew, if I just may add, he did ask if everyone could write letters in support of this. So everyone out there, if you could write a letter in support of Assembly number 2226.
Sure. What I'm going to ask is that the actual Assembly bill be put on the website, and anyone out there can access it. And this way, you know what you're writing about. You can actually reference the names, the name and number of the bill when sending any kind of letters of support out. Okay, so if we could please make sure that Mr. Russo gets that on there. Okay, that being said, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Hockel, second by Ms. Mays. All in favor? Aye. Any nays? No. Pass unanimously.
And we have the public place license, Brothers Pizzeria, renewal.
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Mazer,
I'll second it.
second by Mr. Hockel. All in favor? I will abstain, as I also have representative member of that company.
That's it.
All business. All business. Okay. We have old business, new business, and council comments. Mayor, did you have any, some, mayor comments is not in here, but I'll be glad to open the floor up for anything that you know of that's happening in town.
Well, I'd just like to inform the council that I met with the Master Plan Committee, which consists at this moment of the Planning Board Chairman, our Planning Board Attorney, and the firm that the council has hired. And we had a brief meeting on where are we going in the next 10 years. Every 10 years it comes up, we have to redo our master plan. So we had a brief discussion today, and where we plan to go from here is we'll have another meeting with the members that were here today. Then it goes to the planning board. Then we'll have input from the zoning board. And then we'll have input from the public. So once we gather all the information, this way the entire town can participate in the future of Saddlebrook in the next 10 years. So I'll be keeping the council as well as the public updated on the meetings. Thank you.
Old business? I have a couple of things. In regard to the police hires, unfortunately, due to the weather, there were supposed to be interviews this week, and I wanted to join in.
Hopefully tomorrow, 5 o'clock, Andrew.
Beautiful. I will be here. We have, how many, 2 or 3?
To my knowledge, 2 at this time.
2 interviews. So that might be the last step. I know that they've been vetted by the police department, and now it's up to the governing body to do their interviews with them. A left turn signal, we talked about that. One of the items that was passed on the consent agenda was a resolution. Originally, we sent a letter to the county. Apparently, that was not good enough, that they wanted a formal resolution. And Mr. Costa, you had advised us in closed session, in the work session on Tuesday about what was happening. It was my impression that all they had to do was push a button and all of a sudden this left turn signal appears. I was wrong, so please tell us, members of the public, what really has to be done to get it done.
Obviously, the first thing is, obviously, the resolution. So Pete, tomorrow morning, or if you can...
Tomorrow morning, I'll email it to you.
Email it to me or email it to the county, and then we'll follow up there. They need to, obviously, put the head up, put up signs.
Put the what up?
The head.
The light.
The light.
Okay.
Put up signs, and then obviously reprogram the computer that's in the signalization.
Not hard work.
No, we're not going to rebuild Market Street. This should go very quickly. So as soon as I get the resolution, I'll follow up tomorrow. As soon as he gets it, make sure I contact everybody there, Joe Femia, Joe Crofasi, Gary Askelis, and Eugene Murphy. And then I'll call them every day.
Very good. Old business, I guess I'll direct this to the mayor in terms of the budget. How's that going?
Budget's going very well. Numbers are looking good. It's still in review with the auditor. Pete and I had our department meetings, then we met with the auditor. We're hoping to have it to you shortly, maybe by next week, and then we're hoping to have the council introduce it the first meeting in March.
So once we get the budget, then we will be having our budget meetings, and the public obviously is welcome to attend any of those budget meetings, and we'll be posting that, I guess, on the website. And those can be anywhere from a Monday night to a Saturday morning. It depends.
Absolutely.
We've done it on Saturdays and Sundays in the past. So, anybody else with old business? Anybody with new business they want to discuss? Okay. This came to us actually today. Anybody who's a football fan knows that more than ever, growing up I never heard of the word concussion, but it seems that in almost every play, somebody's being concussed, and there's a whole concussion protocol in the NFL. It's very serious. Head injuries are very serious. Head and neck injuries. We had one of our own a couple of years ago on the football field. Luckily, he's made a miraculous recovery, but he injured his neck and was paralyzed for some time. But there is a concussion awareness seminar for people who have children in sports. It is Wednesday, February 26th from 7 to 9 p.m. at Valley Hospital. I'm asking that this also be put on the website. That's going to be a couple weeks. I do have 5 or 6 of these forms here for anyone in the public who is interested. But again, it's February 26th, 7 to 9 p.m. at the Valley Hospital Conference Center. There is no cost for that. It will be run by William Fox, who's a neurosurgeon, and Steve Kennelly, who's the assistant head athletic trainer for the New York Giants.
Mr. Council President, if
Yes.
I may. March is Women in History Month. So I'm asking the public for any women that you feel have made an impression on your life or someone else's lives. Please send their resume in or send a short note so that we can recognize and honor them in the month of March, and if we can post it on the web. Thank you.
Another thing with new business, what we received the other day, and literally we received it at the work session, were plans from the people who were involved in Midland Commons, which, if you know it or not, that is a proposed development along Midland Avenue, or north of Route 46, the old Bob Ski property. Originally, they were granted approval for a certain number of units that were going to be market units in terms of condominiums. The applicant has come to the council saying he cannot get funding for those type of units, and in my industry, I realize that that is the case because ownership, getting financing to build condos is just not out there. So he is proposing that they be apartments as opposed to condominiums. Part of the plan that we received appears to be that they are lowering it from 4 stories high to 3 stories high, and significantly reducing, it'll be the same number of units, but the number of bedrooms goes down by about 80 or 85. So what we have received were their plans, but also what we did receive was a memorandum from our planner, dated February 3rd. It's addressed to the Township of Saddlebrook Mayor and Council, copied to the Township Clerk. And Corker is our planner, and it regards their market study report and fiscal impact analysis overview. Mr. Corker had questions in regard to some of their findings and wants answers. Tuville Civil Engineering is working on the drainage issue, and Tuville had some issues and questions with regard to the drainage calculations and the report that was issued to us. So I'm going to ask Mr. Ladico forward these items on to Mr. Olampi, who's the attorney representing the applicant. Was it, I'm trying to think, the name of Midland Commons and Saddlebrook LLC, represented by Carmine Olampi of Hackensack. And so this way, he has this, he can present it to his experts. We'll get answers presented to our professionals in that field, and perhaps if we get it done quick enough, maybe we can have them come in here for a March meeting to tell us how things have changed and what they've changed and how they're going to address any concerns that our professionals have had. In terms of new business, what happened on Tuesday, we had Mr. Ebel, representing Saddlebrook Unico, come in and present a proposal for a street fair in Saddlebrook. That would be in October.
Yes.
And they're talking about, we shut Market Street down from Welcome Road down to around Westerville. That Anthony has already talked to the police department in terms of getting their input, and they were in favor. They were in favor of it, or had no objections to it in terms of a public safety issue. We know that this is done in Fairlawn. They shut down River Road, which is pretty much their main drag, and that's a huge one. Also, Maywood has a little bit different area. Their downtown is kind of off the street. It's Pleasant Avenue, but they shut that down. And they're looking for vendors. We don't expect there to be much, if any, cost to the town. And we'll talk about, if there is a cost, how we're going to allot that. There may or may not be the need for security. There may or may not be the need for any DPW. That could be borne by the person that's running it. But the council was here, Mayor, you weren't here on Tuesday, but the council expressed interest in it and approval for it, thinking that it's a good way to, again, to bring the town together. It's a nice thing to have. They will pay for a banner going over Market Street. So there'll be more information, but it's in its infancy, and hopefully we'll get more information and pass that along to the public as it goes along. Okay, we'll go around for council comments. Ms. Mason?
Yes. I'd like to congratulate all the honorees tonight for the decorating contest, and also Brian. Very proud of all our children. But I have to comment on my neighbors, specifically Ed and Dawn. I have to say I was very impressed. I had to give a double take of your decorating skills. When I saw the sled and sand on top of the roof, wow, it was awesome. It was a beautiful job. And I also wanted to congratulate Shayna Kugler. I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason. I ask that good luck, Shayna, and stay safe. Happy Valentine's Day also, everyone.
Mr. Kemler?
Yeah, I would just like to congratulate Brian Valenia, myself, and all the awards from the Mayor's Youth Group. It's very nice. Those are definitely positive things for the town, and they're nice things for the town. I'm always glad to see things like that. Everybody have a happy Valentine's Day, and on a good note, we're all tired of the snow and the bitter cold we had this winter. We're getting closer to spring. Thank you.
I just want to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day. Everything.
Anthony?
No, just apologize for coming late. I had to attend a wake, and it was only this evening, so just wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day, and hopefully spring will come quickly.
The mayor had mentioned that March is Women's History Month. February is Heart Disease Awareness Month, Cancer Awareness Month, and Black History Month. And being that my father died at 39 of heart disease, it's everyone should check themselves. And I'm doing a bad job of doing it myself, but hopefully I'll get on it pretty quick. In terms of the snow ordinance, we talked about that tonight. Changing it from 3 inches to 2 inches, I think that's a good idea. But I also want to relay something that happened to me yesterday. We talked about plowing curb to curb. Well, about 5:15, when I'm getting home, I'm driving down Hayes Drive, and fortunately, one of my neighbors doesn't know the word courteous, so it's down to the blacktop. And all of a sudden, from a distance, I see this snow blowing into the air, right into the middle of the street. And I'm like, no, he's not really doing this at 5:15. The road was perfect. He's all over it. Not only did he continue to do that, but as my car is passing him, he blows it right into my car, and I swear to God, I thought my windows were going to crack, because yesterday was not this light, fluffy snow. He was hurling ice balls at my car. So I did what everyone, if anyone sees that, it's not being a snitch. I called the police. I said, there's a guy who's violating the law. Do something about it. And I'm just going to tell you that for anybody out there watching this, Local Ordinance 168-3 says no person shall place snow or ice onto any public street or walkway. You can't do that. It's rude, and it inconveniences everyone, because it seems like those same people are probably the people that said, hey, the DPW keeps plowing stuff into my driveway. Well, if you're putting the snow on the street, where's it going to go? It's going to go into your driveway. So don't do it. That's why you have a yard. You plow it into your yard. It's just as easy to turn it to the left as it is to turn to the right. Also, just so we're aware, Local Ordinance 168-1, an owner or tenant must remove snow or ice within 12 hours of daylight after snow has fallen. Again, it causes a serious inconvenience and hazard to other people who are trying to traverse your property. That being said, if you have neighbors who are elderly or infirm, try and do the neighborly thing and help them out. If they can't go out and do it, see if you can help them out. I just want to address a couple of things that were brought up very quickly. The public meeting shutdown. I can't talk too much about it because I wasn't here, but the person who brought it up also was not here, so I don't know how you can have much comment on what was going on. Although there is a state statute that says a person commits a disorderly person's offense if, with purpose to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting, procession, or gathering, he doesn't act tending to obstruct or interfere with it. So there are laws there that say, what you can or can't do. And I can make no comment on what happened because I didn't see it. So I just want to say, when he talks about DCA guidelines, there are state statutes that say what you can or can't do. The crossing guards, like Pete said, maybe it's not acceptable, we're working on it. It lay dormant during that particular person's time on the council as council president 4 times. Nothing was done to collect it. We are now trying to collect it. The nepotism law we're talking about, Brian, you're looking into it. We've talked about this. This is nothing new. And we are gathering information and templates from some other towns that may have it, and that's something that the council is considering.
And what you're at, Mr. Simaluka, is how expansive that ordinance will be. There are ordinances that cover everyone in the town. There are ordinances that just cover elected officials and department heads. So, it's something that you're going to have to grapple with.
Yes. All right, so we're going to rely on you to just get us some information, and we'll talk about it at a work session. And just lastly, Rossell Lane, about that's a wonderful place. It may be wonderful, and I hope that we can utilize it at some time. But the interesting thing is, we've got this big piece of property, and I don't think, Pete, has anyone ever come to us, come to the town and said, hey, what do you want to do with that? We want to take it over and develop it?
No, I've never received it.
It's there. It's there, and I'm not going to make any comment, good, bad, or indifferent, but no one's knocking on our door saying, let us develop it. We think it's a real good moneymaker for us. So hopefully it will be, and we can use that for some good purpose. But once again, I just express my sentiments that I think that we did the right thing in using the money for Caldwell Avenue. We were in fear of losing it, and I would rather use that money than lose it. Okay. That being said, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Simmons,
I'm sorry, we have to go to
executive session.
I'm sorry.
Just, Andrew, if I could just comment on the
Yes, sir.
closing the meeting the other night.
You were here.
I was running the meeting in place of Andrew, and things were getting out of hand. So I felt it was in the best interest for safety to shut the meeting down. And that's why I asked for a motion to close the meeting to the public. Not that I want to shut anybody out from speaking, but just for a safety standpoint.
Now, we have some legal issues that we have to resolve?
a
Personnel issue?
personnel litigation issue.
Okay.
Whereas the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook desires to meet for the purpose of a closed session to discuss litigation and personnel. Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act does make an exception and allows a public body to hold a closed session. Now therefore be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that the closed session to take place on February 6, 2014 at 7:00 p.m. or sooner after as the matter can be reached, that the municipal building be closed to the public and to the press, and that the results of the discussion at the closed session will be released to the public when the reasons for discussing and acting on it in closed session no longer exists.
Is there a motion? Motion. Mr. Conti, Ms. Mazur with a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays?